Hello. So we are back with an extremely exciting mod that I got for the Z. So what this is, and I mentioned waiting for this really bad for it to come out, but this is a pre-production early batch version of the Gktech bolt-on angle kit for the 370. So if you're familiar with Zs at all, they make a kit for the 350Z that bolts on underneath the knuckle using the tie rod pickup and the ball joint. And it has a new pickup point for a different version of a Heim joint tie rod that they have. And this is a very similar kit. Essentially, there's this piece. I think it goes one of these ways. Something like this. And this picks up the ball joint, and then this one back here picks up where the tie rod used to go. And then that's, or no, sorry, this is where the tie rod used to go. It's like this. There we go. Derp. So this is where the tie rod used to go, and then down here it picks up the ball joint, and then this becomes your new outer tie rod. And then this little kind of oblong looking threaded part, this is your Ackerman adjustment. And flipping this outside versus inside gives you normal or like a low Ackerman setting, which is really cool. So it should be extremely simple to put on. I'm really curious to see what happens because I already removed the bump stops, but I also, if you remember from my like budget drift setup video, I have these like 6mm rack spacers. So with the rack spacers, I'm wondering if we're gonna run into any issues hitting stuff with this kit. And if so, can I clearance it? Because it seems like this kit should give me, with the normal Ackerman setting, should get me in the mid 50s with angle. And if I could get into the high 50s with rack spacers, it would be like the best budget kit ever. I mean, it's pretty sweet as is. I mean, like, I don't know what these are gonna cost full production, but it was really affordable and it's super nice. They come with really nice adjustable tie rods, outer tie rods, and even little dust boots for your Heim joints. So I'm stoked to get this kit in. I'm gonna throw the car up in the air and get cracking on that. But yeah, we'll see. What's up? Ted's working on his car. Ted's got a bash bar even though it doesn't drift.
Well, the intercooler doesn't clear the bumper. So.
Ah. Yeah. I gotcha. Oh, look how good these my old seats look in Ted's Z. Ted's Skyline. I know.
Mm-hmm. Makes it a little bit more modern.
A little bit, but not too much.
No.
Like they look slick, but they don't look like
they
don't look out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants some Skyline seats.
Yeah.
Some GTSD seats.
Hit him up. Hit a boy up.
In the pile of junk.
Ted, are you gonna do with the hood? What are you gonna do with my hood?
I don't know.
Oh boy.
What am I gonna do with your?
So basically, all I have to do, I have to drop the tie rod, take that outer tie rod off, and then undo this ball joint bolt and let the knuckle kind of hang, the nut rather, and then install the unit there, and then start setting up the tie rods. It's pretty simple, especially because I already have the bump stop taken off and cut. That's pretty much the hardest part. So I got the tie rod and the ball joint free. And I also assembled these with the outside Ackerman setting, and I put the dust boot on. So this should get, I guess, the closest to like a normal Ackerman setting, and also with the most leading wheel angle. So let me go get this on and I'll kind of let you know how it went. Passenger side, all bolted up. Got the ball joint bolt tightened. I'm gonna fit a slip pin in this one. On their video, Gktech's video, they mentioned you can take this off and slot it, but I actually have a different type of slip pin that'll work without having to slot it. I tightened this bolt down too, and then I got this one back on. And then what I did was I threaded the tie rod, outer tie rod, all the way onto here, and then all the way onto the tie rod. So I'm gonna do that on both sides, and then that way I can measure center and make sure the wheel is centered. And then on top of that, then I can just back these out to set the toe correctly when I'm all set. I don't know, Ted, what do you think? Should I just drive it like this? So that's if you completely max out the inner and outer tie rods inward. I wanted to kind of do that so I know that the tie rods are even on both sides. So now the wheel's centered, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna double check and measure across under the car and make sure that the rack is centered, because I'm pretty sure it's close, but I just wanna make sure that my steering wheel wasn't actually ultimately off like a notch or something. So we'll see, it should be good. And then all I have to do is basically bring each in by the same amount until it's the right toe, and then we'll be good to go. Oh wow, I got dirt all over my face. So I got a little ahead of myself because I'm in a bit of a rush for today. But I threw the driver's side one on, bottomed out both. Oh, I showed you that. I bottomed out both the tie rods, had a lot of toe out. I centered the wheel. It was actually off by a couple teeth, which is kind of crazy. So hopefully I did it right. And then went back in, eyeballed the toe, measured hard points from the knuckle to the subframe, matched them up, and then fine-tuned the toe to get it to 0 toe in the front. And it's got a lot of angle. This is the lead wheel. That's insane. That is insane. That's what the lead wheel looks like. I'm gonna drop it on the ground and actually measure what that is. But even the trail wheel, look at that. That's remarkable. Remarkable. And the ratio is crazy. Like, that's centered right there. And this is with a quarter turn. Half turn. Here's a full turn. And it will only do another quarter turn. Mind you, I have rack spacers, and I'm not yet sure what's hitting where yet. I think we might be limited by the knuckle. Yeah, the knuckle's hitting let's see, what is that? I think it's where the tie rod picks up is hitting the control arm. Okay, so there's like a little bump stop on the back. I'll show you on this side since it's the trailing wheel. So I think what's limiting me right now is where this kind of round, you really can't see it, it's kind of dark, but where this round part of the rear, the knuckle, where the tie rod used to pick up, hits right there where that little grazing mark was, where the old bump stop used to be. So that's what's limiting me, which is good news because I thought it would actually be on the trailing wheel where the caliper might hit the end link, but the caliper doesn't hit the end link. That's good. That's really good. So it doesn't look like I'm even using my rack spacers, so I might even take them out later. But I'm gonna drop this on the ground and measure it, see what we're at. And then if you want to get any more angle than this, you're gonna have to start grinding away some aluminum. That's incredible. On the side, and here's the lead angle. So I'm gonna measure this quick, and then I'm gonna do the other way and make sure they're even and the numbers match, and then we'll be happy. 2 trailing and 47 lead, which is actually funny because where was it said that on the paper? With the instructions they sent me, it says exactly OEM bottom A-arm can't support more than 47 degrees of steering angle without binding or interfering with other components. And that's what's happening is the knuckle is hitting the part of the lower A-arm. So if I want to get more angle than that, I can clearance it a bit, but this is already about 5 degrees more than I had before, and this has room to grow, which is excellent. So that's really good news. So before I was like completely maxed out on the rack, and now I have plenty of room on the rack. The problem is it's actually hitting the control arm. So this gives me about 5 degrees more angle, much quicker steering ratio. And then if I want to get another 5-ish, you know, into the low 50s, I just have to do a little bit of clearancing. So this is really good. So I'm just gonna do the other side quick and make sure that it's the same. Check this way, it's exactly 47 and 42 trailing as well. So that means that we're perfect. But the problem is we're not limited by the rack. So there's really no way of knowing if the rack was centered correctly because it's hitting mechanically. So, but that's good news. It means everything's happy. That's a good amount of angle. And with simple modification, I can even get more if I want to mess with it. But I think that's plenty. Plenty. Just look at that. That's crazy. I've always feel like you can tell you have enough angle when you can see the back of the rim. It's like the shoe test for how low a car is, which my car fails. Oh, okay. So I'm not really sure how to close this video out. Unfortunately, I don't know when the next time I'll be able to actually take this thing to a track is going to be. Because like I said, I'll be moving. I'm moving in a few weeks. And then it'll probably be a while before I can make it out to OSW down there to go drifting, which is going to be strange. So that'll honestly probably be the next video, unless I decide to mess with this car or film anything in between. So not sure how long of a break it'll be from this video to the next video. Hopefully not too long. And I honestly think this video is going to be super short, so I don't really film much. Oh, I should mention, this is, I think, still a pre-production kit, so it might change to the final unit. I didn't really have any issues with it, but I'm going to let Gktech know how everything went with the install, and hopefully they can take some feedback and maybe they'll tweak it a little bit for the production kit. But yeah, just keep that in mind. It might look a little different when the full kit actually comes out later. But I'm excited. If you like this one, guys, please hit the like button. If you want to keep following along with this car down in Florida, hit subscribe and hit that little bell so you get notified when I decide to post the next one. I'll catch you guys then. Bye.